According to Rebrickable, my LEGO collection is worth about $17,000. According to Brickset, which tracks condition, it's worth quite a bit less. And according to some of my friends and family, it is worth, well, pretty much nothing at all. But no matter what way you slice it, I have a lot of LEGO. Some built, some loose, some new sealed in box, and some missing. And I think it's high time to check in on my collection, see what I've got, and see what needs replacing after nearly 35 years of play and love. That's right, we're going to be building every single minifigure in my LEGO collection. Let's do this. We're going to start truly back at the very beginning of the theme's history, back in 2011 with the very inception of Ninjago. And we have the original minifigures from the first wave. These are Zane, Jay, Cole, and Kai, all in their original ninja suits from the pilot episodes, or the Golden Weapons, as they're sometimes referred to in the community. They feature the classic ninja hood piece, which is no longer in production, unfortunately. It had a clip on the back that allowed you to clip in a weapon, and just simply isn't being produced anymore. And speaking of no longer produced anymore, the original hair molds are not either, but I decided to give this duplicate Kai one. Here's the original Nia from the pilot episodes. She doesn't feature any back printing, but she does have a dual-sided head that maybe hints at a mysterious kind of future for her. Sensei Wu from the pilots I actually remember as being much simpler than he is in reality. He's quite deluxe. He has a rubberized beard, he has leg printing, he has back printing, there's a lot to this figure. And of course, the skeletons were the primary villains of this wave. They featured a brand new arm design compared to any other skeletons we've ever seen before. I mean, as well as a different leg and torso design, but the arms I feel like were the primary difference. They are now posable instead of the battle droid arms that we've gotten before this in Fantasy, and then the floppy arms that we've gotten even before that. And of course, speaking of arms, Samukai, the skeleton general, has 4 of them. This whole top piece is all one molded part. It's really cool, and this is one of the most highly requested figures to be remade. I happen to have 2 of them, I don't know how. Cruncha as well gets a specially molded head, and all of the skeletons receive this cool armor piece in different variations. Knuckle is his comedic sidekick. I really love both of these figures, but I do wish that they captured their personality a little bit better, as both Cruncha and Knuckle are primarily comedic characters in the show, and they look quite serious in these figures. And of course, Garmadon, the biggest, baddest guy of them all. We'll see a bunch of different versions of Garmadon, but pay attention to his helmet, because this is the last time he got this wide style of helmet before they changed it to a much narrower version. At the end of the Golden Weapons pilot season, all of the ninja unlocked Dragon Companions, and with them came their DX suits, which I believe stands for Dragon Extreme or Dragon Rider Extreme. They all have the same hood pieces that they did before, the same heads and everything, but they now have different torsos and legs that have gold reflective printed detail that shows their dragon and their name on the back. This J1 is quite valuable and is quite desirable in the secondhand market. Zane is the only one that I actually bought off of store shelves. I got him in an original 2011 spinner. The rest of them, though, I've managed to fill out my collection pretty completely, except for the green one that is way more valuable. And here's a Sensei Wu from the same era, in an outfit that he never actually wore in the show, but I think it's quite iconic in its own right, and has been referenced in Legacy. For the first official season of the show that was aired, the ninja, of course, were facing new villains and needed new suits to go with them. These are known as the ZX suits, which I had to look up and actually stands for Zen Extreme. I consider these to be the quintessential Ninjago suits, even more so than the original ones, although I think those are more recognizable. These are the ones that just stand out to me. You have 2 of them that have silver detailing. That would be Cole and Jay, and then you have 2 that have gold detailing. Those are Zane and Kai. This is when the ninja finally had their full, all 4 golden weapons, as you can see from the minifigures, and they were unlocking vehicles. I have so many of these figures. I have duplicates upon duplicates. Some of them are broken, some of them are old. And of course, where you have Ninja, you also have Samurai. Spoiler alert for the show, Nia finally got an outfit. As you can see, this features this new armor piece, as well as the skinnier Samurai helmet that I referenced from the Garmadon figure. He'll get one as well. The funniest thing to me about the Lloyd minifigure that no one ever noticed is, look at his chest print. It has a green number 5 on it. I mean, if you haven't watched the show, then I won't say anything, but look at it. And I made this one out of some custom parts because I had an extra one. It matches that look from the show. Speaking of the Serpentine, let's start talking about them. This is the first one, Ratla. The Serpentine come in, I believe, 4 different, sub-tiers. This is the first one, and this is the second one, where the first one just had a molded hair piece, or whatever you want to call that snake thing. These have a fully custom molded head, but everything else is normal. Here you can see the Venomari version of that, first tier of goons. This is Lasha. Lasha's got some red vials, and is probably one of the most remade minifigures in Ninjago history. Here's our second tier from the Constricti. This is Chokin. You'll notice he has the little mini legs, and he has the same mold as our second tier from the other tribes. This is the third tier. This is Spitta. Now, the third tiers all have the same head mold as well. It's a little bit more detailed. It's a little more extravagant, a little more snake-like, but it's still not the big bads. Here's our third tier from the Hypnobrai. This is Mesmo. And here's our third tier from the Constricti. This is Baitar. Baitar is one of the shortest LEGO minifigures that exists because he has an extra short head and he has short legs. But these are the ones you guys have all been waiting for. These are the generals of the 4 tribes. This is Scales. He's the general of the Hypnobrai clan. He has a custom molded head. He has that tail piece, which is still being used to this day. This is Acidicus. He is the general of the Venomari. They also all have these staffs that have a custom tile per tribe. This is Scalador. He's the general of the Constricti. Unfortunately, I am missing Fang Tom and Fang Dam, who are the generals of the Fangpire, but here's Pythor. I gave him his own custom staff just so he kind of blends in with the others. He's obviously the most extravagant. I wish someday they would make a new headpiece for him that wasn't open like that, but he's pretty cool all on his own. Of course, with the threat of the Serpentine on the horizon and the prophecy of the Golden Ninja under their belt, the ninja must train to see who is the lean ninja. These are their kendo outfits. They come with that same armor piece that Samurai X receives, and they also have a new molded kendo helmet, which has since been reused, recolored. I believe it was used in the LEGO Ninjago movie with some different coloring. Interestingly, all of these minifigures have underneath them their Season 1, or their pilot, Golden Weapons outfits. And see, I promised we'd see Garmadon again. We'll see him a bunch more times. He's now back meaner than ever as well, with 4 arms and a new helmet. You can see here the comparison between the skinnier helmet on the new minifigure and the wider helmet on the old one. Wu also gets an updated minifigure here. He has a completely different torso and leg design. This one doesn't do much for me. I know it was in the show, but whatever. Maybe part of the reason it doesn't do much for me is because I have 2. One of them is very sun-faded, but whatever, I don't care. And here he is, the Green Ninja himself. Lloyd, if you didn't know, he does have the same head print as his shorter minifigure. This is the older version, but he comes with a dark pearl gray armor and headset. As the ninja grow to protect the Green Ninja and unlock their true potentials, we get their NRG forms. That's NRG, but obviously it's energy. These are the true potentials of all of the ninja and are some of the most valuable Ninjago figures ever, which is why I don't have a whole lot of them. I have the Kai one, I have most of the Cole one, I have also most of the J one, although I am missing his accurate head piece, or his hood piece. These feature just some incredible printing. I mean, look at the way that almost holographic printing changes with the light. This is all I've got for Zane, which is pretty sad, but they're some of the coolest. And to this day, they keep trying to remake these, but they'll never pass them. Season 2 or 3, depending on how you count, of the show is the final battle, and this is the first time that all five now of the ninja, including Lloyd, all have exactly matching outfits. The only difference here is whether they have gold accenting or silver accenting, which all carries over from their ZX suits. Lloyd now has gold accenting as compared to his dark pearl gray that he had in his original Green Ninja suit, but all of them have almost exactly matching suits, which is the first time that they really feel like a cohesive team. Here is Lloyd in his golden form. It's just a gold version of this final battle suit that is behind him. I like to call this the NRG version for Lloyd. It's his true potential, after all, the gold one, right? It's so funny to look back on these. The Stone Warriors, I think, are one of the weaker villains that Ninjago has ever come out with, but they needed something that was effectively indestructible, and so they kind of came up with these more Japanese-inspired villains to show up. Obviously, also very Terracotta-inspired by the fact that they are Stone Warriors, but I think that their designs are fine overall. To think that they could have been the last villains that the show ever saw is a little bit sad. There is this version of Garmadon, however, who came with them. I think that this chin piece is pretty iconic. It's mostly the same version from before, just with this updated Helmet of Darkness. But thankfully, Ninjago did not get cancelled. Well, I guess it did, but then it got, wait for it, ready? Rebooted. And now we have new versions of the ninja yet again with their techno blades, which I think are a little goofy, but this was the first time that all four of the ninja came with their hair pieces. For Kai especially, this was a big deal because his hairpiece didn't exist before this, and he gets kind of that rubberized one. I believe all the other ones existed in various city, Star Wars, whatever, other themes, but Kai got a rubberized hairpiece for the first time, and I do have all four of the rebooted Technoblade Ninja, which is pretty fun. Lloyd as well gets a rebooted outfit. He is the only one to retain the shoulder armor, while all of the ninja get their little neck scarves. And Zane got a special version. This is Battle Damage Zane. If you know, you know. If you remember, you remember from the season. But he gets a broken apart Ninjroid version. Then, because this was a Zane forward season, there's also this version, Golden Power Zane. This actually came out past redesigns, so I just put his head in his hand and gave him the classic one for display in my collection. In order to fight the ultimate evil that is the Overlord, all of the ninja got these stone outfits. Something that bugs me is that they don't line up with the armor in the back, but all the ninja got them. Lloyd is just the only one I have. Moving into my favorite season, Season 4, the Tournament of Elements. All of the ninja get this outfit. This is called the Jungle outfit. These, again, all match. We kind of have an alternating thing where they go from all matching to all of them individualistic. We're back to all matching here. These are the Tournament of Elements suits, and they are sleeveless. They have the hair and the neck bandana again, which is, again, the second time that this is being used. I have the Kai, Cole, and Jay ones. There's also a Lloyd one, and a non-canonical Zane one that came out just so you could kind of complete the set. And because it's kind of become the norm for every season, the ninja to have two outfits, these are their jungle outfits. So this is once Chen releases them out into the jungle to all fight each other. All of the ninja now have weapons that are printed onto their outfits, I believe, for the first time. Funny how we never see them. They all have that quiver. But we never see them use any of the knives or the quiver or anything that goes into them. This is the sixth set that I have a complete set of, finally, including Zane the Titanium Ninja. This is canonical, this is once he is reborn on Chen's Island, and he has his full silver outfit. And gosh, going back to Lloyd's after that just doesn't really hit quite the same. But I do have a complete set. And again, where there are ninja, there are also samurai, so Nia finally gets an updated version. She actually now has the Samurai X headprint, which is long overdue. And we also get a Skylar minifigure, which, looking back at it now, is so bizarre to look at because it's clearly trying to do the same thing as the jungle robes, and she's trying to be mysterious, but she's gotten so many better outfits in the show. Speaking of Elemental Masters, we get introduced to a bunch of them this season. Here's my Karloff. I'm slowly trying to piece him together. He's not really there yet, but yeah, I've got the important bits. I've got the fists, right? And turning to the other side, here we have Chen, who just has this incredibly deluxe headpiece. He's got back printing, he's got a cape, he's got a brick-built staff here, which is very fun. And unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of his goons. I actually only have this one, which is the legacy version of Izor, called that because he only has one eye, and I bet it's very sore. Season 5, Possession, widely considered to be one of the best narrative seasons of the show. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of the figures. So I gave Cole the brick-built Sword of Possession, and here is Nia, finally now in a ninja suit. She becomes the Ninja of Water in this season. I don't know how I feel about this color scheme. I think that the red and blue is weird and derivative, but there she is. And Wu also gets an outfit. This is the same outfit that was given to him for LEGO Dimensions, which is interesting because that one is based off of the Tournament of Elements season, and this is his possession suit. But it means that I have 2 of these, and again, I could take it or leave it. This is the first time we're going to see what I like to call the trying to recapture the NRG magic. These are the Air Jitsu Ninja, and you can see they're trying to do the same kind of like reflective printing and like elemental effects like they did with the NRG Ninja, but for whatever reason, I don't know, these just don't hit the same, and they certainly never caught on the same. You can find these for absolutely a fraction of what the NRG Ninja cost, which is why I have so many. I don't have all of them, but I have enough that you kind of get the picture. They all have their symbol of their element, or actually I believe that's their first letter in Ninjago, first letter of their name on their chests, and they're fine. Season 6 Skybound is when I really just was not following the show, so I'm working on rebuilding my backlog. Here's Kai. I gave him his sword that has himself trapped within it. Don't worry too much about it. And here is Echo Zane. This is the first Skybound figure that I got. He's one of my favorite minifigures of all of Ninjago. He just stands out, and he's so quirky, and he's so cute, and I love him so much. Day of the Departed was the mini special that came out in between seasons 6 and 7, and people don't seem to really like it for the story. I think it's fine, but what I think is even more interesting is the reimagined versions of the season 1 suits. Particularly interesting for me here are Lloyd and Nia, who never had pilot golden weapon suits, and this is kind of a reimagined version of what that might have looked like. Here we have some of the other ninja who did have versions, but now, for example, Cole now has a ghost scar. He also now has gray added to his color scheme, so we've spiced that up a little bit. Here's Zane. Zane now has that titanium, that pearl silver color added to his color scheme, so we've added that back into his original pilot outfit. And I think that reimagining is so cool. Kai now has we're going with that duotone thing, so he's gonna get dark red as well. That's whatever, it's fine. But they all have their emblem up in their top right shoulder, and here you can see, compared to their original versions from the pilots, they're very, very, very similar, and I think that's awesome to get for Lloyd and Nia. Bringing that nostalgia for the pilot season full circle, we get some returning villains as well. Here's Frackjaw. He has lost his original armor piece, he's lost his legs. Compared to the original, I kind of think it's a downgrade, but you know, whatever. Season 7, Hands of Time, is considered to be one of the weakest seasons, narratively, but in terms of the budget for the figures, it's incredibly high. Look, foot printing, new heads for Kai, it's a miracle. Even Lloyd, who I'm missing his hood piece, look, he's got the toe printing on his legs for Ninjago, a first-party theme. I mean, at the time, that was unheard of. While this was kind of a narrative low spot for the show, we were getting a bunch of minifigures of characters who should have gotten them beforehand. Here's from the Tournament of Elements. This is Ash. He has bigger clubs that I need to give him, but here is Shade. Ash was the Elemental Master of Smoke. Shade is the Elemental Master of Shadow. Very cool that we're getting them. Weird that we didn't get them before. And here's a new version of Skylar. This is why I say that the old version was a little bit laughable, because like when we picture Skylar, this is what we picture, not the weird Tournament of Elements like ninja suit. Unfortunately, I can't heap the same kind of praise on the Wu crew outfits. Here's Cole. This is the first time that we saw the redesigns, and they actually were before the movie. Well, they kind of came out around the same time as the movie, but they were before anyone really got a chance to get used to them. They're all matching outfits, and they're fine. I collect them for completion value, and I've only got 3 of them so far. So, you know, we're working on it. Nia actually came in the collectible minifigure series, so that's interesting, I guess. Okay, Season 8, narratively, Sons of Garmadon. We are past the Ninjago movie. We are in peak storytelling era. Everything is redesigned, which a lot of people didn't like, but for the first time, the ninja can turn their heads because there's no piece that is preventing them from doing so. They all have new printing on both sides of their heads. There's just a completely different design for every single character, except kind of for Zane, but that's fine. You didn't really need changing. And the masks are all a different style. They each have different weapons. Zane now features a bow and arrow for the first time instead of his shurikens. I like to call this kind of the Bronze Age of Ninjago. And of course, we have to have our NRG wannabe versions. These ones, I think, are kind of the weakest. They're also often the cheapest to find. There's just not a whole lot going on here, and I think that the materialistic version of these hoods doesn't lend itself to an ethereal NRG, like, design. For those who like a lived-in world, Season 9 is the season where Zane gets carabiners. It's the season where all of the other characters' outfits get ripped. It's got this very lived-in feel. They're basically versions of their outfits from the season before, just a little bit grungier, a little bit more beaten up. And I think that there's something kind of inherently interesting about that. Look at Cole's. It's just like ripped out the front. He's got his whole chest popping out. He's sleeveless now. I mean, he is rocking out. Nia, on the other hand, if you've seen the show, does not go with them into the other realm. She stays back. She gets a whole new outfit. Unfortunately, she loses the cloth skirt that she had in the previous season, but I don't even have that minifigure, so you don't need to know about it. Legacy, whoo boy, I consider these to be the unofficial, well, no, they are the official Season 10 March of the Oni outfits, but they also were used everywhere in Legacy, especially Legacy Kai was just absolutely everywhere. This is the last set of ninja outfits where I have a complete set of all, at this point, 6 ninja. I've given them the versions of the golden weapons that they came with around this time, which all of these energy effects, but if you look at this, you can actually see the dragon, nunchuck handle on the other end of it. Unfortunately, I don't have too many of those, but that's okay. I still have all 4 ninja. These were kind of considered to be reimaginings of what, like, the base ninja outfits were, but they didn't really stick around for very long. They were used in remakes of old sets, the Legacy versions, as it were, which felt kind of weird and anomalous, and I'm glad that for Legacy 2, it seems like they might not be doing the same thing. Keep your eyes peeled for news about Legacy 2, by the way. I cannot wait to talk about it as soon as I have some more time. With reimagined versions of the ninja, of course, they have to have reimagined versions of their enemies. Remember I said Lasha gets remade a lot? Yeah, this isn't even the first time. This is the second time that Lasha's been remade. I guess we're just keeping that snake hood piece in production. Nia as well. Samurai X, she gets a Legacy version. We get that armor now in red, which is interesting. There's not really any nostalgia value, so it's cool. It's fine. Here it is compared to the original. It's interesting because they're similar enough to not be interesting, and they're not quite similar enough to be nostalgic. I will say the one character who got an absolute, unequivocal upgrade is Knuckle. Remember how I was talking about his old version was so serious and he's kind of goofy? Well, here we have the goof. I kind of wish that this worked better with the old chest piece. I feel like that's lacking in this Legacy version, and the boots, but I'm sure you could make something work. Cruncha gets the same treatment as well. I feel like without the chest pieces, they're a little bit naked on the top. You can see compared to his original version, I mean, it's not really the same, but you get so much more personality with both of these figures, and I think that that is the biggest upgrade. Season 11, Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu, this Forbidden Finjitzu, was kind of, I'm sure, nobody's real favorite, but I did love the leather arm that they gave Lloyd, so I got that one. And with a new era comes a new NRG wannabe. These are the Forbidden Spinjitzu versions. You got a cool dual molded fiery ninja hood here, but it's still not the same. Teenage Wu came from a book. He's got a print very similar to his original version. You can see that it's definitely trying to harken back to that while also being original enough in and of itself. He has that ponytail piece that they gave Cole with the redesigns, and I really like this figure. At the same time that they were doing Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu, they were also doing Legacy. And here we have Lloyd's Legacy version of his Tournament of Elements sleeveless version, which, here's the Kai version as well. I think that these are fine. I think that the difference in hair pieces at this point was very, very distracting to me. I gave the J version, the Lloyd's Dragon's Rising head and the roller skates so that he's mimicking this scene from Tournament of Elements. Spinjitzu Burst! Are you seeing a theme here? Here we have Cole in his Spinjitzu Burst outfit, which is the only canonical one in terms of the ninja learning Spinjitzu Burst. Lloyd also gets a Spinjitzu Burst, even though he never learned Spinjitzu Burst, but I guess it's a cool design in and of itself. I just don't think it's as cool as the other ones. Thankfully, we were not at this time, and still never are, done going through Elemental Masters. This is Jacob Pevsner, the Elemental Master of Sound. This is Gravis, the Elemental Master of Gravity. He has these really cool trans purple glitter gravity pieces. And this is below both the Elemental Master of Nature. Interestingly, not at all what he looks like in the show. This is pretty much a complete redesign, at least in terms of his torso. He's never shirtless, but, you know, it's good to have him, I guess. Because I didn't really explain it earlier, Ninjago Legacy was the 10th anniversary of the TV show, and was an opportunity to look back on the show's history. At the same time as they were creating Legacy sets, they were also creating these collectible 10th anniversary Ninjago minifigures. I'm still collecting all of them, and they are all from the second era of Ninjago. But here we have the Golden Lloyd, the Golden Kai, and the Golden Wu minifigure. I wish they all had this golden head like Wu does, but, you know, it's fine. Whatever. I think they look great. Of course, Golden Lloyd, not to be confused with Golden Lloyd. This is the Legacy remake of the Season 3 Final Battle Golden Power Lloyd that we looked at earlier. And this is an era where they started giving the ninja casual outfits for the first time. Well, I guess not for the first time, but they really started to focus on it because this is when the Ninjago City sets started coming out. A lot of these figures here are from Ninjago City Gardens, full transparency, because I have that set, and it came with a lot of minifigures. Out of that, though, we did get an updated Ronin, which we did not have for a long time since Possession. This one now has even more detail. He finally comes with his hair. We have just some random civilians. I'm just gonna blaze through some of these because, I don't know, I don't find them particularly remarkable. Ninjago fan. This one, Ice Planet Ice Cream Man, a reference to the 2002 Ice Planet minifigures. That was a very cool little Easter egg, and I keep my Ice Planet minifigure near them. Misako finally gets a remake. She is Lloyd's mother, if you didn't know, but we haven't gotten a figure from her in a while. The Mechanic finally gets a figure. I wish that he got a mechanical arm for his golden arm, but, you know, something's better than nothing, and it's good to finally have one here. Clutch Powers. If you don't know who this is a deep cut reference from Lego lore, and he showed up in the Ninjago TV show, got an updated minifigure out of it. This is Master Chen, but the logo version for Chen's Noodles, the noodle company that was the front for Chen's evil doings. And a random bank robber. Awesome. This cleaning droid, I think, is a reference to the Exoforce villains. Just kind of a remake. Oh my goodness, look at them cheeks on that robot. And of course, here is the Zane minifigure that came with the Ninjago City Gardens. This is the memorial from the show. I gave him his classic hair because I think he deserves it. Moving back to characters that I feel like people actually care about, here we finally have an Urban Cole. He is a gamer and a rocker through and through, so he gets this fun little game controller piece. Jay's outfit comes with this set as well. It's not just Jay, it's just his suit. One of the really fun things about it is that the buttons that he has on the suit transfer over to his casual minifigure. And it also comes with a child version of Lloyd, just as a fun little reference, I guess. He's in his Legacy outfit, which doesn't fit his head or it doesn't look like his old version at all. It looks much more like just a child version of the redesign, which I think is a little bit confusing. Wish they hadn't done it, but one thing I'm very grateful that they did do is made a redesigned version of the Overlord. Interestingly, his helmet actually doesn't go all the way down because of his shoulder pads, but this ghostly piece, excellent. And oh man, were we eating good at this time. This was a bonus figure, and a lot of the bonus figures were really cool, but this is future Nia from that one flashback, or flash forward, I guess, in the show. Here's her compared to her present day counterpart. She's just a little bit older and a little bit more worn, and I love that this exists. Core is a tough one to talk about because at the time it was coming out, I told myself that I wasn't going to buy any of them. They didn't correspond to the show, and I was here for the show. Toys that represented the show. But then they made it so that in the Dragon's Rising flashbacks, the ninja are wearing their Core outfits, and I went, man, okay, I guess I'll get them. So these are the only two I've gotten, but they also have their own NRG ripoffs. This time they at least have a transparent head that they get from the Dragon minifigures that came out with Crystallized, but they're fine overall. They're, you know, again, they're not as good as the originals, but oh boy, are they going to keep trying those NRG knockoffs. Gosh, I am out of breath. Okay, so speaking of the Core villains, these were supposed to be just random bone warriors. I don't really know what their story was. They were invented for Core. And again, I told myself I wasn't going to buy any of them. And then they showed up in Dragon's Rising. And not only did they show up in Dragon's Rising, but they showed up in the underworld in Dragon's Rising. And it was implied that they were the Skulkin, that they were the same skeletons from the first season. Okay, I can't be as passionate about Dragon's Rising Kai. I think that he's fine. I think that the Dragons Rising show is excellent, and I think that getting the minifigures from it is lovely. I have a bunch of different versions of this Dragons Rising Kai, with the hood, without the hood. This is when I really got back into collecting Ninjago. Here's the Dragons Rising Nia as well. They now have the mask piece is built into their armor, which I personally think is a downside because they can't turn their heads, but you know, what are you gonna do? In terms of villains, we have Rapton. This is the version that came in a poly bag, and I love the transparent neon orange, or I guess transparent orange sword that he has. His minions, or at least what we assumed were his minions, are the Wolf Mask Warriors. They have a really cool looking Mortal Kombat looking head underneath. They have a wolf mask that they wear that becomes relevant later on in the show. Don't worry about it. I have 2 different versions of them, and this is Lord Roz. He's implied to kind of be Rapton's, I don't know, boss or whatever, but obviously if you've watched Dragons Rising, he has his own thing going on. Weird that his teeth aren't printed. Dragons Rising Season 2 came along, and the ninja got, in my opinion, much better suits. This is the version that came with the gimmick set. This is the Dragon Flyer version or whatever that has gold. I have one for Kai, and I have one for Nia. They have just gold accents on their mask as opposed to the darker versions of their colors, and they have gold hands as well. Man, Euphrasia is such a special minifigure. This is absolutely the kind of minifigure that in ages past would have just been skipped and included in a blister pack somewhere. The fact that we got her in a set is awesome. Master Lloyd is fine. I mean, I think that narratively, I think that's really interesting that he is the new sensei of the show. I just really hope that they go somewhere with it. Leave a comment down below if you've got any theories on where Master Wu is and what's going on with him. Weird that this minifigure came in a set, but he has been nowhere to be seen in Dragons Rising, other than maybe a little ghostly. Season 2 also brought the climber suits, which I think are also fine. I love the bring back of the carabiners, like the ones from Season 10. If you've heard me talk about the comic book store, I get $4 minifigures sometimes. That's where I got this Cole. I think that's a fun story. Evil J is awesome. This is just such a creative minifigure. He has elements of him that have the same design language as the Wolfpack Warriors, elements that are lightning themed. It's just great. And I forgot to mention this with the Dragons Rising minifigures, but all of them have this mask underneath their hoods. I don't think it ever really shows up in the show, and so Jay's the only minifigure that I keep it on. Okay, and then Season 2, Part 2 of Dragons Rising is the Tournament of Sources. I think that this is really interesting and kind of fun because we have the Tournament of Sources Kai, we have the Legacy Tournament of Elements Kai, and then we have Tournament of Elements Kai. 3 different versions of a sleeveless tournament-based Kai minifigure. What are the odds? Back on the villain side, here we have Cinder. I think that this is mostly a really great minifigure. I really like that leg piece. I do, however, wish that the printing was better. I mean, printing yellow on that black head has always been an issue. And here's Sora in her Tournament of Sources outfit. I really like her arm printing, I really like her hairpiece, and I really like the dual mold, or the double printing on her head. I like that the gold glowing eyes show her using her powers. And here we have an updated version of the Wolf Mask Warriors, this time in a purple and red color scheme, which I don't really like as much as the blue and dark blue color scheme. An interesting thing about it, though, is that the heads are identical. They didn't even bother updating them to change the color scheme. This is not the first Tox minifigure that we've ever gotten, but it is the first Ninjago Tox minifigure we've ever gotten. If you didn't know, the original design was stolen from Ultra Agents, so this is the first Ninjago original version. And this is Shirtless Zane. The easiest $10 I've ever spent. Rounding out our collection of the new ninja from Dragons Rising, here is Wildfire in her Season 2 outfit. It's really high time that she got a new one, but, you know, whatever. And if you've been keeping track, you know that I'm mostly pulling from sets at this point, so here's a Dragonian Warrior from Dragons Rising Season 3. I really like a lot about this, I look forward to getting more. Here's Kai in his Dragons Rising Season 3 Storm suit. This is the version specifically from the new Spijitzu spinners, which are very fun, which means that he has gold as the second molding color on his helmet. And last but certainly not least for my loose minifigures is Drix, the Wasp-themed member of the Forbidden Five, and an excellent addition to my collection. I do have a couple of sets that are still sealed in box. This is the Dragonian Storm Village. It comes with Storm Zane, Storm Nia, Rogue, Morrow again. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And two Dragonians. I don't have this sealed for any particular reason. I just have not gotten a chance to open it yet. And last but certainly not least is this set, the Ninjago Legends Fire Knight mech, featuring a fisherman and the Master of Fire. He's called Master of Fire, but he looks pretty familiar. Man, how do I even begin to talk about Ninjago as a whole? It's my favorite theme of all LEGO, and I am madly in love with the show, the mythos, the vibe, the lore, and of course, the sets and the minifigures. Ninjago has always felt to me less like a show designed to sell toys, which of course it is, and more like toys that represent a show. The characters are surprisingly deep, the themes are surprisingly emotional, and the amount of adults I've gotten hooked on the show is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened 3 times. I've been with this theme since 2011, and its nostalgic joy is what got me back into LEGO as an adult hobby. Now I'm fleshing out my collection, they're making some beautiful sets aimed towards older audiences, and I just couldn't be having more fun. Especially amongst the stone grays of LEGO Castle, the muted colors of MCU superhero sets, and the space grays of LEGO Star Wars, Ninjago is just a fun little pop of color to make any collection sparkle. I hope you enjoyed going through them with me, and stay tuned through the coming weeks as I go through all my minifigures from other themes, hopefully your favorite. Here's a sneak peek of next week's theme. Until then, thank you for watching.